You've done the affirmations. You've written down your standards, told yourself you deserve more, even blocked a few people who couldn't meet you where you are. But somehow, like clockwork, they show up again. Not the same person, but the same energy. Different face, same pattern. They pull you in, make you feel seen for a moment, and then disappear. Or worse, they stay just enough to confuse you, breadcrumb you, say all the right things without ever doing the right things. It's maddening. And when you're lying there at 2 a.m., rereading the same old text thread, wondering what you could have done differently, you start to believe it's you. That maybe you are too much. That maybe you're hard to love. That maybe real love is for other people, not you. Because how else can you explain it? You've tried being chill. You've tried being bold. You've tried giving space and showing up in every shade in between. And still, you attract the same kind of people, emotionally unavailable, inconsistent, or incapable of choosing you fully. But here's the truth no one told you before. You're not cursed. You're just still being the version of you who believes this is all you can get. This isn't your fault, but it is your pattern. And once you finally see it, you can end it for good. Let's talk about Neville Goddard. Not the fluffy spiritual version. Not the high vibe, let it go, surrender your desires noise you're tired of hearing. Let's talk about the real teaching that could finally help you understand why your love life feels like Groundhog Day. Neville said, everyone is you pushed out. It means the world you experience, every interaction, every relationship, every dynamic is a mirror of you. Not what you say you want, but what you expect. Not what you affirm once in a while, but what you assume over and over again without realizing it. So when you keep attracting people who ghost, cheat, criticize, or ignore you, it doesn't mean you're broken. It just means, deep down, there's a part of you that still believes that's what love looks like. That's what you're worth. That love will always leave. That closeness always comes with pain. This isn't conscious. It's in your identity. It's in the story you've rehearsed since you were little. Maybe you watched your parents play out the same dance. Maybe someone made you feel invisible. And now invisibility feels familiar. So even when someone genuinely nice shows up, you doubt it. You sabotage it. Or you don't even feel attracted. Because pain feels like home, and love feels like a risk. Everyone is you pushed out. Not the you on the surface, the you underneath. The you who still expects love to sting. And until that story changes, the patterns won't either. Let's go there. That moment where you stare at your phone, knowing damn well they haven't replied in 2 days. But you text I miss you anyway. Why? Because you're not trying to win them over. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can be chosen. That you're lovable. That if they finally say, I miss you too, maybe it'll undo the ache in your chest. But when they don't reply, or worse, they say something cold, you spiral again. You reread everything. You wonder if you're the drama. And then you try to be even more low maintenance next time. Maybe if you didn't ask for too much, they'd stay. But listen to that. Can you hear the quiet violence you've normalized in your own self-talk? You're not crazy for wanting connection. You're not needy for wanting reassurance. You're not intense for wanting depth. You just keep choosing people who confirm your fear that love isn't safe. And that's because you haven't felt safe to believe that you're worth more. EIYPO means this. They aren't choosing you because you haven't chosen yourself in this story yet. You're still operating from a version of you who thinks love is earned, chased, negotiated. That if you bend enough, shrink enough, wait long enough, maybe this time it won't hurt. But what if the answer has never been about finding better people? What if it's about becoming the version of you who doesn't even recognize breadcrumbs as love anymore? You don't attract narcissists because you're naive. You attract them because somewhere inside, you've internalized the belief that love is inconsistent. That you have to perform for affection. That being discarded is normal. That hot and cold means passion. That the withdrawal of love is something you need to work hard to fix. But all of that is the old you. The you who was just trying to survive emotionally. The you who got praised for being easygoing. The you who learned to apologize even when you were the one bleeding. The you who confused chemistry with trauma bonds. Neville didn't say everyone is a test. He said they are you. So if they keep mirroring abandonment, it's not because you're doomed. It's because some part of you still expects to be left. Some part of you still believes you have to earn the love that should have been unconditional. And this is not your shame, it's your wake-up call. Changing your self-concept isn't about forcing yourself to think I am loved 10 times a day. It's about becoming a version of you who knows it so deeply that anyone who doesn't treat you accordingly becomes boring. That's when the cycle ends. Not when you chase better partners, but when the old self, the self who tolerated scraps, no longer runs the show. Here's the part most people miss. We keep asking, why did they treat me like this? Or why do people always leave? Or why do I fall for the ones who don't want me? But those questions keep you stuck in a loop. They focus on the characters in your reality instead of the script you've been living out. The better question is, who have I been being, that these characters keep showing up to match it? Have I been the abandoned one? The one always waiting to be chosen? The one who tolerates crumbs hoping it'll turn into a feast. The one who gives and gives and gives, hoping someone finally says, "You're enough." You're not being punished. You're being reflected. If you want loyalty, become the version of you who expects it. If you want consistency, be the version of you who doesn't make excuses for chaos. If you want love that stays, become the version of you who no longer tries to earn staying. And watch what happens. Not because you manipulated the world, but because you stopped manipulating yourself into being smaller just to keep people from leaving. So here's the shift. This whole time, you thought the goal was to meet better people. But the real shift, the one that makes your entire world bend, is when you become the version of you who doesn't even resonate with the old dynamic anymore. You don't have to force it. When your internal story changes, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, your mirror, the 3D world, has to change too. Not always instantly, not always loudly, but inevitably. Because people cannot show up in ways you don't unconsciously expect anymore. When your concept of self says, "I am worthy, I am chosen, I am loved," then anyone who treats you like an option becomes unrecognizable. You won't chase them. You'll lose interest because they no longer match the new you. That's when things start to move. The old stories lose grip. The painful patterns fade. The emotional hooks break. You're no longer waiting for the world to prove something to you. You've already proved it to yourself. And that is when love, the real kind, becomes inevitable. Not because you found someone different, but because you became someone who doesn't accept anything less. Don't hate the version of you who stayed too long. Don't shame the one who texted first, who cried herself to sleep, who hoped against logic. That was the you who didn't know you were the operant power. The one who still thought love was outside of you. That version of you was trying. She just didn't know yet that she had the power to rewrite the whole damn script. But now you do. Neville said, "Change your concept of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live." This is what it means. Change who you believe yourself to be in relationships. Not intellectually, but emotionally. Be the one who is always chosen, never questioned, never begging. Be the one who believes they are loved, even when the 3D still echoes the past. Because it will at first. That's not failure. That's just lag. But keep going. The moment you change who you are in the story, the mirror will eventually catch up. And when it does, you'll look back at the old patterns with love, but no longing. You'll finally know it was never about them. It was always about you. And that means you're free. And freedom, it doesn't always feel like fireworks. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it feels like grief. Because when you stop blaming others and start taking full authorship of your life, there's no one left to fight. No more waiting for closure. No more obsessing over what they did or didn't say. No more rewriting the text you'll never send. Instead, you're left with a mirror, and the real work begins. You look yourself in the eye and ask, "Who do I want to be now?" That question, though simple, is everything. It's what rewires your life. Because once you start living from your chosen identity, rather than your conditioned one, the world can't help but reorganize itself to match your inner certainty. And yes, it might feel uncomfortable at first. You'll have moments where you want to go back to the familiar pain, because it's what you've known. You'll feel the pull to chase, to over-explain, to prove your worth just one more time. But that's the old self trying to survive. You'll notice it now. And instead of following that instinct, you'll pause. You'll breathe. And you'll choose differently. Not because it's easy, but because you finally see that your choices shape your reality more than anything else ever could. This is the power of everyone as you pushed out. It's not just a manifestation hack. It's not about getting people to behave a certain way. It's about recognizing that every person you interact with is reflecting back the story you hold about yourself. So the person who makes you feel dismissed, they're reflecting your fear of not being enough. The one who treats you like a priority, they're reflecting your rising belief that you are a priority. And the beauty is, you don't need anyone to change for you to shift your experience. You just need to shift you. The rest follows naturally. Eventually, you stop asking, "Why do people keep hurting me?" and start asking, "Why do I keep choosing versions of myself who accept this?" And that question, that's what turns the page. That's what ends the cycle. Because now, you're the one in control, not of others, but of your own self-concept. And that's the only control that ever mattered. So if you're watching this and realizing that you've been living in a loop, dating the same energy over and over again, feeling stuck, craving something deeper, let this be your sign. You're not broken. You've just been playing out an old script. And the second you decide to rewrite it, everything begins to shift. Not all at once, not always dramatically, but with consistency, clarity, and calm. You won't have to scream to be heard anymore. You won't have to beg for someone to see your worth, because you'll already know it. And people will feel it before you say a word. You'll stop asking for closure, because you are the closure. You'll stop needing external validation, because your identity becomes rooted in something much deeper, you. That's the real glow up. Not the outfit, not the revenge body, but the calmness that comes from knowing, I choose me now. And when I do, the world reflects it in every room I walk into, in every text I get, in every relationship that enters my life. This is how you break the pattern. This is how you end the loop. Not with revenge, not with desperation, but with self-recognition. You remember who you are. You remember what you deserve. And then you live like it's already yours, because it is. If this message hit you deep, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what version of you are you leaving behind? And who are you ready to become now? Let's talk about it. Let's claim it. Because once you see your patterns, you can end them and rewrite everything.